Trapped in a diary. Scrolling through TikTok late one night, I stumbled upon a video about buried treasure in your own backyard. It was a silly concept, but it sparked my curiosity. The next day, spade in hand, I began digging through the soft earth behind my house. I was expecting rocks and maybe some old coins, but instead, I unearthed a small, weathered diary. The cover was blackened with age, and the pages were brittle, but it was still legible. As I flipped through the first few entries, they seemed mundane, a teenager's ramblings about school and friends. But something about the words seemed to vibrate with urgency, as if warning me of a deeper, hidden truth. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that the diary had been waiting for me. As I read further, the events described in the diary began happening around me. A mention of a strange bird at the window was followed by incessant tapping on my own pane. A note about a sudden power outage was eerily mirrored by the lights flickering in my home. Each entry seemed to predict the next bizarre occurrence in my life, and I realized with a chill that the diary wasn't just recounting the past, it was scripting my present. I tried to ignore it, to set the book aside, but an unseen force seemed to compel me to read on, as if my own story was being woven into its pages. The diary's ink seemed to darken as the entries grew more sinister. It spoke of shadows that crept along walls and whispers that curled through the night. My nights were restless, filled with the echo of those very whispers, my own shadow twisting unnaturally in the moonlight. I began to notice figures at the edge of my vision, dissolving whenever I turned to confront them. I was trapped in a narrative I couldn't escape, each word binding me tighter to a destiny I didn't want to face. The diary's final pages were filled with frantic scrawls, warnings of looming presence that consumed those who dared read its secrets. Desperate for an escape, I resolved to burn the diary, hoping to sever the thread of my entwined fate. As the flames licked its edges, I felt a surge of relief, the oppressive weight lifting momentarily. But as the last page was consumed, a searing pain shot through me, and I knew the truth. The diary was a conduit, its essence now stamped on my soul. I was the final chapter, eternally trapped in a tale that would never end, my story unwritten yet already sealed. The shadows grew bolder, and I realized with dawning horror that I was no longer the reader, but the protagonist in a story that would doom me to its dark embrace forever.